You're good doggies, yeah. You're a good girl. You're good doggies. Hey everyone, I'm Russell and this is my cabin at Raspberry Rock. I got to thinking recently that I've been living here just over a year now, and I thought I'd do an update on what it's like living here for off-grid for a year, share my experiences, and tell you, is it worth it? So let's get started. So let's start with the weather. Yeah, there are many times of the year that the weather is just not very good for living in a place like this. If it's raining a lot, or it's really cold, or there's a lot of snow, you know, it's getting in and out of here is a pain, or just doing anything is a pain. Going up for firewood is a pain. Or freezing rain, we get some of that every winter. And freezing rain is actually really dangerous because not just for me, but for the dogs as well, because we get the sheet of ice over everything. It's, you know, it's actually quite a bit safer on the ATV than it is just walking around. But definitely there are times of the year when the weather just doesn't cooperate. Of course, there are other times of the year when we get weather like this and it's absolutely beautiful. But then we get bugs. So about 4 months of the year, I don't want to say are a write-off, but the bugs make it difficult. From early May, right through to around the end of August, we go from black flies to deer flies to mosquitoes, you know, and it's a pain. Now, there are things we can do about that, like these bug hats. These help a lot. These are awesome. You put this on and you don't have to worry about bugs around your ears or around your hair or your neck. Very helpful for black flies. That's where those seem to help the most. And then we have these bug jackets. These bug jackets are actually really helpful. There's a deer fly in there. They're really helpful. The only thing is they're a little bit stuffy. So for somebody like me who sweats easily, who gets hot easily, yeah, they're stuffy. So I mostly only wear this when I'm riding the bike because I'm not moving around. I'm not doing a whole lot. I just need protection. Other than that, we use a lot of bug spray. And that helps as well. Because we can't have bugs rule our lives. They're annoying, but we can't help. And of course, we're out here in the woods, so bugs are a lot worse than they are in the city. In fact, I don't ever remember seeing black flies in the city. Where we lived in Richmond Hill, Ontario, it was mosquitoes came out the May long weekend, and then, you know, from there on it was mostly mosquitoes. I don't remember seeing a lot of deer flies either. So I'm a ways from the road. I'm about 2.5–3 kilometers from the road, and that's a good thing and a bad thing. And when you're looking for property, keep that in mind. The good thing is that I get no trespassers here. I get nobody just wandering by trying to sell me something. You know, I don't even get any random hikers here. It's just too difficult to get here. So on the one hand, the Solitude is amazing, and I love the Solitude. I don't like crowds at all. But on the other hand, it's so difficult to get here. And if you've seen some of my videos, like my Nightmare ATV video, you'll know that it can be quite difficult getting here sometimes. If it's really wet, you know, the swampy areas are really bad. In the snow, it's just awful. The ATV slides all over the place. I have trouble getting up hills and whatever. And there's not a lot I can do to improve the trail because it crosses my neighbor's property, and I'm obligated to make as few changes as possible when I do that. So it is what it is. But as I said, the Solitude is amazing. This is one of my favorite spots to sit, just on the edge of the deck here. Yeah, just another word about solitude. Solitude can be a great thing, but it can also be a negative thing. I mean, humans are social people, and we need to have social interactions. If I was single, I might have more of a problem living here all by myself, getting company as sporadically or infrequently as I do. Thankfully, my best friend comes out to visit quite often, my wife. She's been here during the summertime. She's here every weekend, and for the rest of the year, she comes about every other weekend, and she loves it here. So, and that's great for me. That's pretty much all the company I need is my wife here. But and it's kind of hard to say, like, if you live in the city and you want to live off grid, it's kind of hard to say, you know, how that's going to affect you. you know, the social aspects or the lack of social aspects until you live there for a while, and you kind of get a feel for, you know, do I need more social interaction than this or not? And in fact, I actually get tons of social interaction because um, just replying to comments on my YouTube videos or Facebook or my live streams every Friday night, which I've been doing more on my other channel. Look in the description for that. That's a huge social thing for me, which is a lot of fun. It's not face to face, but it's as close as you can get. So one of the things that was important to me coming out here was amenities. I like amenities as much as the next person. You know, I'm not a homesteader. I've never claimed to be a homesteader. I don't think I ever will be a homesteader. I might have some chickens now, you know, in the future because I go through a lot of eggs. And we do have a small garden started. But as I said, I like amenities as much as the next person. So I want to have as many as possible. Some I can't have, and some I can have. And the ones that I've put in, I'm pretty thankful for. Let me show you a few of them. This is my shower as it is. Very happy to have an inside shower. I know some of my neighbors who don't have an inside shower, but I like taking a nice, comfortable shower inside. I think the single biggest thing I miss from living in the city is having a flush toilet. Like a real flush toilet. Now you've probably seen it from other videos, but we have a toilet seat on a stand out in the bush or a hole in the ground. I don't have an outhouse. I could probably have one, but anywhere I've put my shovel in up here, I can only dig around 2 feet deep at the deepest before I hit bedrock. And it's not a good, you want a much deeper, bigger hole than that for an outhouse. And then there are a lot of times a year where going outside to do your business is just no fun at all. Really no fun. If it's really cold, if there are bugs, if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's pretty much anything out of the ordinary, it's no fun. We have a toilet seat inside for go and pee, you know, when the conditions are bad, and we have a porta potty that we can also use. But none of it comes even close to like a good flush toilet, and that's one thing I really miss. Speaking of things I really miss, if we're talking about things I really miss out here, the other thing would be pizza delivery. Actually, I don't get pizza delivery even in town. I go and pick it up, but it's nice to have, you know, just to go a couple of minutes and have a nice fresh hot pizza. And for all those who say, oh, I can make a better pizza at home than I can buy, well, I can't. I can make a reasonable, satisfactory imitation of one, but it's not the same. One of the biggest things that should come as no surprise to anybody is that everything takes longer out here. Everything takes longer. You know, from dispensing water out of a dispenser, or you know, just ordinary tasks that you wouldn't even think of in the city. Everything takes longer. Case in point, if we want to have a shower, we have to heat up water either on the propane stove or over on the wood stove in the wintertime. And we fill up the pot and we have a thermometer and we wait till it hits 40, and then we know the water's at a really good hot temperature for a shower. But you gotta wait for the water to heat up, and then you gotta watch it. There's no more just kind of throwing your clothes off, jumping in the shower and cranking up the heat. You know, this takes time, and then you gotta transfer it from your pot into a dispenser, haul the dispenser up over the, you know, the shower, and there you're ready to go. Not to mention you know, you have to be careful how much water you use. You don't want to run out of water. You gotta turn the water off while you're soaping and stuff like that. It's a bit of a pain, but here's another example. The other night I wanted to take a shower. I put on the hot water. I kind of forgot about it. Left it on about 10 minutes longer than I meant to. And I came over and it was sitting at 60 something. And it took an hour and a half for it to cool down to around 40. And so I had to delay my shower by an hour and a half. I guess I didn't need to. I have ice in the freezer. I could have cooled it down, but I didn't want to waste my ice. So. But yeah, everything takes longer out here. It's just, everything is more labor intensive. Everything just takes longer. How many times can I say that? Way to go, Russell. It's verbiage. This is the new platform for where I'm going to stack my firewood shortly. It's about 12 feet long and 4 feet wide. And these are pallets, and I spent a bit of time earlier trying to level them out. There's a deer fly here buzzing me badly. But I gotta say, this is probably the single biggest chore that I don't like is cutting down trees, cutting up the logs, chopping it up, stacking it. It's so much work, and it's so annoying work, and I don't like anything to do with loud noises like chainsaws. So I just, there's no part of it I like. I'm okay with chopping wood, and I don't really mind stacking it, but yeah, it's a lot of work, and I don't like doing it, but you gotta do it. I mean, there's no other way to heat my cabin without going to a lot of other work. I mean, some people have suggested pellet stoves. Well, then I gotta haul a lot of pellets in, and you know, it's one or the other, really. Yeah. But yeah, single biggest chore I don't like, firewood. But I gotta say, having a fire in the wintertime is really, really nice, especially on a big wood stove with a big glass window. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I just love that part of it. A little give and take. Can you see my panels? So, probably the single best amenity I have here is electricity. This big solar power system, there's 10 panels, 9 of them are actually in use, one of them isn't, for reasons I'm not going to go into now. You can check out my solar power video if you want more information about it. But yeah, I've got lots of solar power here. I get lots of electricity for most of the year. In the wintertime, it can be a bit of a challenge to balance my electrical needs. But these days, tons and tons of power to do whatever I want. I can run the coffee maker in the morning. I can run the microwave to heat food up. I have no problems running lights and computer all evening, or the TV, or whatever I want. And it's just been a really good amenity to have here. I gotta say, if you're planning a cabin, at least budget a couple $1,000s for some kind of solar power and batteries, so that you can at least keep your lights on and a computer at night, or a TV, so you can watch movies. You know, it makes a world of difference. If you have to sit there and run a generator, bleh, that sucks. See that little antenna beside the bat house? That's my internet. I'd almost put that down as a requirement if you're looking for a property to build a cabin. Make sure there's an LTE tower in range so you can get internet. Makes a huge difference. Here she comes. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is this view. Yeah, I think if you're looking for land, get something with a view that you like, something that's, you know, beautiful that you can look at every day. And one of the best things I did when I designed my cabin was I put all these windows in. So when you're standing inside the cabin, everywhere you turn, you've got a beautiful view. It's okay, little girl. And yeah, because you always want to be able to see this. And this is, if you like nature, I mean, a view is just so nice to have. And then what goes along with that, of course, is all the wildlife and the birds and the beavers and the muskrats wandering around, and then along with that, the hiking that we love to do around the property. And the property is so diverse. I just love it. So where do we get at the end of all this? Is it worth it? 1 year off grid, is it worth it? Absolutely, it's worth it. I love it out here. You know, the things that I do that I'm not really fond of, they seem like just trivial things when you put it all together like this. Yeah, bringing in firewood kind of sucks, but hey, if it gets me this, I'm all for it. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything now. So there you go. Is it 1 year off grid? Is it worth it? Hell yeah, it's worth it. And it helps to have some company. Like these two doofuses. Well, I don't know where the other doofus is. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave you with the scenery for a while. You good?